but it matters where your head is. Deputy Chief Kristen Larson said this.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you.
Which would sound kind of racist if a Southern sheriff said it. So we should be sending white firefighters to White Houses and black ones to... Who teaches people this bullshit? No one cares what someone looks like when they're pulling you out of a burning house. Larson also seems to believe that if a female firefighter can't pick up a man, it's his fault. She said, he got himself into the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire. Well, tell that to these guys. Because who pays the highest price when politicians don't prioritize basic services? The first responders.
I've been trying to get Gavin to run for president for a very long time. And
are you serious? Are we living in Gavin Newsom's California? Why?
Yeah, and I'm sure your life is just...
Yes, I believe you saw her reaction. That tells you a lot when Bill Maher mentioned that he actually want Gavin Newsom to run for president, knowing fully well who he is. Now, the fire came in. Bill Maher seems to be changing his tone. He went off on Karimbas. In fact, every person in New York. Now, look at this. At a certain point, when I look at this video, Bill Maher was damn serious. He never wanted Biden or Kamala Harris to run. He wanted Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a chronic liar. Everybody knows that. So, Bill Maher seems to be changing his mind about everything that is important. I show you this video.
So is Gavin Newsom, but there is going to be a recall on Karen Bass. We will see what happens. But a lot of people think she failed in terms of leadership and, you know, where budget cuts may have affected the fire department. And there are other people who are saying, how dare you even talk about that in the middle of the fire? So where do you stand?
Well, we all took a lot of heat. I'm with the people who want to hold politicians accountable. You know, this, we shouldn't talk about it now. It's so funny to hear that coming out of the mouths of liberals, because they hate it when conservatives say that after a gun tragedy, which is what conservatives always say after a mass shooting. This is not the time to politicize it, and then it never is. It is absolutely the time to talk about it. This is what my editorial is about Friday night on the show. Was it always going to be bad? Of course. Their arguments are not wrong. We built the city in a terrible place to build a city. Global warming absolutely does make hot stuff and weather worse. The winds were ridiculous. Yeah, I get all that. And they also made a lot of errors. And if you held Bush accountable for Katrina and thought Rudy Giuliani was an idiot for putting the command center in the World Trade Center, which is the place they attacked for and were most likely to attack again, which he was, well, then you have to have some intellectual honesty and criticize your team when they don't do it right. And they've had a long time to get this righter. It was always going to be bad. All of these were always going to be bad, and they always seem to be the worst they ever possibly could be. So, no, I think we should demand that.
That is it. Accountability. Bill Maher is actually saying the truth, which Democrats don't believe in that, especially criticizing her. Karen Bass did a lot, and if care is not taken, she's gone. But I know they will still protect her. When I look at what Bill Maher said on this video, he actually opened up the minds of people. They had this to say, but they are scared to do that. Watching this interview he had with TMZ actually brought in the gas.
I've been trying to get Gavin to run for president for a very long time. And
are you serious? Are we living in Gavin Newsom's California? Why?
Yeah, and I'm sure your life is just a nightmare.
Left because of him.
Oh, right, you're
Moved
in Florida.
to Miami.
So, you know what? I'll tell you something.
Lived here my whole life.
In 2020, I've lived here since '83.
Okay.
And I love where I live. I love California.
I lived in Malibu.
I'm dug in here. I did in 2020 when there was a week when the sun was blotted out from the sky because of fires, I did look at moving to Florida. Now, I think it was a little like when I was contemplating suicide when I was in high school and college. If I got laid once, I would stop to and I don't think I was ever really going to do it. But I did actually, or get married. I was engaged once, but there are things you in your life you're like, you know what, I might do that. And part of you is like, yeah, never going to do that. Okay. So, and I think moving to Florida is in that category, but I did look at it because I share your frustrations with California. I do. And those are the things I was saying to him.
I mean, this is one I think I could speak to
again,
pretty eloquently.
Are you happier in Florida?
Yeah.
What is it in Florida that compensated more than what you had here?
It feels less crazy than it does here. Here, you just
Florida's less crazy.
Yeah. Hear me out. Hear me out on this.
Really?
Here's
the place
what I mean.
where the people are on bath salts, like fucking an alligator?
Sage Steele asked me. She's like, "What was the moment when you felt like California had lost its mind?" And it was a piece of legislation that I can't recall.
Did it affect your life?
But Bill,
did it affect your life?
Is the crime affecting our lives? Is the homelessness affecting our lives?
Was crime affecting your life here in California?
Yeah, absolutely. My house got broken into.
Your house got broken into?
Yes, and guess what? The relationship with PG&E, my house burned down in 2018.
Where's your house?
I lived in Malibu.
Malibu?
Yeah.
You got broken into in Malibu?
I got...
Things are rough out there.
And it was so nuts.
I'm voting for Trump.
Guess who let the guy out? It was the guy's third offense. He broke into our house. He had duct tape and a video camera. Anyway, long story, but third strike, guy goes to jail, gets let out. I mean, give me a break. You're not going to hold PG&E accountable for that fire in 2018.
Yeah.
You're going to decriminalize everything but regulate nothing. You're prioritizing the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I believe you've seen her mindset, why she left. Now, in 2025, we are talking about the same thing. She should be really sitting somewhere and drinking. Yeah, because she left, look at what has just happened. Imagine if she was still there, maybe the house would not be there because of bad policies. This was preventable, like everyone is saying. Bill Maher at that time was advocating for Gavin Newsom to be president. Now I really want to see his tone. The whole clip he did here was just calling out Karim Baz, woke, DEI, things like that. But he has not touched Gavin Newsom yet.
I think it's that important to not wait for the next election, to have a recall of Mayor Bass and have an election. And this is not about Republican or Democrat. I have a question. Who would you rather rebuild the Palisades? Mayor Bass, who had all this warning, or Rick Caruso, who built the Grove. He built the Palisades Village, which is 99% intact. In fact, that's the guy that I want to rebuild.
Now go into something else. Jimmy Kimmel is not happy. He had a meltdown pertaining to this decision Trump took, making Hollywood great again.
Well, everybody's been worried that he won't do anything to help us. Turns out we're wrong. This morning he wrote, "It is my honor to announce Jon Voight, Mel Gibson, and Sylvester Stallone to be special ambassadors to a great but very troubled place, Hollywood, California."
I think also in this environment right now where immediately there's discussion flowing through social media networks that cleaves down partisan lines, that is stopping our ability to be united. And we should not just accept that as inevitable. That is weakening our ability to unite as a nation and as cities.
Let me answer your criticism by asking you a question.
Sure.
Do you think it was uniting or dividing while in the midst of these fires for the Democrats to go to Sacramento and in an emergency session vote to appropriate $50 million to Trump-proof California, to sue the Trump administration, which hasn't even taken office yet? Do you think that was a good priority and a good time to do that or no? Was that dividing? Was that divisive or was that uniting?
Scott, I think what Sacramento does, and by the way, I think the focus should be entirely on the firefighting. And I'm not going to go take that bait because I don't know the details of that particular bill.
They voted to appropriate $50 million to sue Trump.
You see the madness here? They were focused to Trump-proof California while places are burning. That was not a good move. Look at the time. They are the first to criticize, oh, Trump said this, oh, this one is going on. Looking at Jimmy, I don't want to play all that video because of these copyright issues. He was there melting down because Trump appointed Mel Gibson and others to oversee or make Hollywood great again.
Yeah, we were just talking about the wildfire situation.
I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. And then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Until Elon Musk confirmed that what this lady is saying is the truth.
Palisades looks like, unfortunately Gaza or one of these war-torn countries where awful things have happened. And there are fires now breaking out everywhere. So it feels totally bizarre to be talking about a movie.
I'll be laying out a plan for how we recover.
And sparks move things. And it doesn't matter how much water you have.
Thank you guys for always been there sharing on my videos. I don't like to make the videos long. Reason I always cut it at this point for
future president and his gag
are a function of their flawed morality and policy.
The problem with California is forestry management.
We're triggering total collapse.
The city of the Pacific Palisades is burning. And, I flew here last night. I was on the plane, started getting texts.
So I am evacuating my home.
What we need to do against what we know is right. And these are the results.
Trump is now calling that Gavin Newsom should step down.
This is you getting water to areas that need water because there are fires in 100-mile-an-hour winds.
The situation is beyond control. I'll be updating you, giving you more information to what I'm observing on social media. I didn't want to report this, but people keep sending this to me. God bless you.
Health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
What do we do?
Right now you're looking.
Remember it.
As a country about January.
Yeah, and then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad.
I want to be,
Jim Jordan.
In the 5 tenants of
Palisades Village right here. This is the town center of sorts.
All right, I'm going to read another real dark text to you guys.